Hello and welcome back to this post-holiday catch-up version of Outside, Inside, Outside Racing. My name is Ian, and what have I been doing? Oh yeah, I bought a 3D printer. I printed this, and I printed this, printed this, I printed that, I printed this, printed this, because it broke. I printed this, it's a trash can. I printed this, I'm printing that. I printed this, it's a capybara wearing a hoodie. I printed this after I scanned it. In fact, I printed all these animals. I printed this, I printed that, and I gave my boys their own toolboxes so that they can print a metric butt ton of this stuff and use it to do all of this. I have organized my toolbox using the gridfinity system. I'm really happy about everything that I've done here. Let me walk you through a little bit. This is a modular system based on 42 millimeter grids that then you can print other cups and holders and whatever kind of things that you want to print to snap into place and to hold things. And in this case, I've used an extension of it called the socketfinity system to hold all my sockets. I've got some cups for my extensions. I've got some random hardware over here. This is an ever-evolving system, so I don't really know if this is exactly going to stay. And in this drawer, we've got our wrenches beautifully arranged in some holders. We've got metric and standard and then kind of a go kit of wrenches, and this can actually just lift out of here and go with me in another toolbox. Over here, I've got the measuring and cutting drawer, so I've got rulers, caliper, feeler gauges. And then down here, it was kind of already done already. I had these plier organizers that I bought from Amazon. It's still not perfect over here, but over here, we have an electronics go kit. We've got the soldering iron, some wire strippers, some crimpers, and things like that that I can just pull out of here and take with me. Down here is the still pretty much messy big tool drawer. This one's going to be the most difficult, I feel like, to organize with the gridfinity system, but I am getting there. I really am. There's something currently on the printer right now I'll go show you that's going to replace this and hold all of my cutting discs for my Wheel of Death. And I'll do a more in-depth tutorial on this stuff later and how I do it. The core of all of this is the Bambu Studio that came along with the purchase of my new Bambu P1S printer, which I can't recommend enough. I don't know if it's all Bambu printers, but this one, I've seen stuff from the P2S, rock solid. Good stuff. If you, like me, entered into 3D printing with some, secondhand garbage printer, and you struggled and fought, and, you had constant string outs and nasty prints and etc., and you just kind of gave up, there's a whole new world out there. Buy one of these enclosed printers from Bambu or otherwise, and buy good filament. And then you're basically going to be set. Hit the button, print it, walk away, come back, printed thing. I love the 3D printing. That's been the major part of what's been going on with me. Let's talk about what's going on with some cars, I guess, because there's a new one, but it's going to go soon. Anyway, we'll go talk about that. First off, you may not know to look at it, but this right here is half of a Toyota 18RG. That's the head. Here's the block. And all of this is going to go to Clay County Engine Rebuilders, hopefully today. And I will drop it off with them, and then they will tell me what kind of situation I'm in. So far, it looks like it has bigger cams. It's got hotter pistons. It's got standard size bores. All of this stuff I'll have in a later video where I dig in to all of that. The eventual plan is that motor, being built up in a hotter fashion, will get swapped into Dale, who's over at the shop. Nearly everything else that I have to talk about is over the shop, so we might as well travel over there. I'm clearly just running and gunning today. Production values not going to be very high. We've got a couple of videos in the can, as they say, and they're actually not. They're half in the can. I mean, are they coming out of the can? Are they stuck in the can? I don't know where they are. I can talk about other people's projects that are going on right now. Keegan has the Wicked turbocharged 4AG Tercel. That's going to be back in action soon. He's also building another 4AG Tercel, and he has his Wild Prelude that he's going to be doing some more work on. We need to get over and cover his stuff more thoroughly. Ryan is still working on upgrades to the MGB GTS with the 4AC engine in it, his rallycross car. He also has a 1UZ V8. And the big plan for that is to put it in his old rallycross car, which is a Toyota AE86 Coupe. That should be coming sometime in the new year as well, along with the 2001 car, the Gambler 500 Camry build that Ryan's got going on. Then out at Richard's Ranch, way out west, of course, he has the ST205 Celica that just appeared like a miracle in our last video. He's also sitting on a Toyota Starlet that's prepped for track use, and I think he plans on getting that back out on the road sometime soon. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff going on, and I need to have eyes. I need to have eyes on it. Hashtag Fit Gang. This car has to be ready for my middle kid to be able to rallycross and autocross it this season. So these tires, I said we might run these in rallycross. I'm looking for some other wide wheels on like 15 by 7.5 to put some 225 on, really sticky rubber, so he can do well in the EST class, I believe, in autocross. That'll be his goal for the year. Okay, moving on. This brutal looking 76 Celica drift car that I picked up from down south in Missouri. And I originally went to get this car because I'm a sucker for rescuing Celicas, but also it has a roll bar inside. And I thought I'd really like to have that roll bar for Dale, for the 72 Celica. Unfortunately, this particular roll bar is welded in to the car, which I didn't know or didn't think about when I first bought it. But you know what? I thought, no big deal. I'll go ahead and just slice it on out of there. Just cut her on right on out of there. Turns out, with all the integrality that it has, it's got some pretty beefy, I don't know if you can see these. I'm not going to get in there that far to try to see them. But it's got some pretty beefy, you know, mounts for this thing. And I don't want to cut that out, because by the time I got done cutting this whole thing out to the point where I could put it in my other car, there wouldn't be much car left on this car. It would be pretty floppy. So I decided, why not just pass it on before I make it into, you know, some sort of origami paper thin mess. Somebody else could turn this into a car, but it doesn't have. There's no motor in there. There is a cross member for a 3SGE beams, though. You know, somebody could do something with this thing, but it's not going to be me. Moving on, we've got the 85 MR2. This is the Goblin. It did run. I did get it running again after we washed down the cylinders with fuel. Will it run again? I really don't know. I put new spark plugs in it, and that seemed to do the trick. But we gotta, you know, air up the tires and get it running, do a nut and bolt check on the alignment, make sure it's good, and probably do a bunch of 3D printing on the inside and make some covers for stuff and whatnot, just because I want to. Under here, 88 MR2, junk, black, but it's got a really good trunk, and it's got a really good, one of these side vents. See how ours has like bullet holes in it or something? Somebody tried to slide hammer and pull this out. That's all junk. So we're going to cut that out of that car and put it on this car. And this trunk is rotted. That trunk is clean, so we're going to take that out and use that as well. This is a 79 Mustang. It belongs to my buddy. I also want to get it the hell out of here, so it's just not in my way. So it's either going to go to my storage or to his house or get sold or something. If you would like to own a 79 Mustang with a 4-cylinder, all original, I guess you could say, hit me up, because I don't want it. 82 Cressida wagon, our Dragon Drive car. It rides okay-ish. It rubs the tires a lot. It needs some suspension attention. The gas tank underneath is completely rotted out on the inside. Puts nasty rust into the fuel. We got to fix that. But boy, it looks cool, doesn't it? I like it. Okay, moving on. That's a stack of tires and old oil and a snowblower and a boat. So here's Dale. His 18RG is going to be fine. It does need a new valve shim on the exhaust valve on number 3, I believe it is. Bring those tolerances in a little tighter. he doesn't oil properly. And I would love to fit my AccuSump system to be able to make sure that he can get extra oil pressure when he needs it. The not oiling properly is due to not having an 18RG oil pump in this and not having a well-baffled pan, which is something that we're going to fix on the new motor. But we're not going to go from like the 100 horsepower here to 200 in the new motor. We're going to go from 100 to like 120, maybe. Look at all this junk. That's an L15 block from a Fit, and I would kind of like to build it up and have it ready for the next Fit that I own. The Fit that I have now, probably not going to stick around forever because it's getting a little bit long in the tooth, over 200,000 miles, and I'd like to have one that's a little fresher. Oh, look, it's a Killer Corolla. This is the Killer Corolla's heart, or at least half of it. It's 2TG head, which has been sitting here in pieces for God knows how long, collecting dust, debris, tools, hair, feces. I don't know. Whatever might come from the ceiling. This is not good. Very much not good. So I need to get, if Clay County Engine Builders does a good job on my 18RG, they're going to get this motor next. We're going to pull out the block and we're going to take them this motor, have them go through it, see what needs to be done. I know we dropped a valve long ago. And the pistons, hopefully they can be cleaned up because they are some high compression pistons, but that one's definitely got aluminum on it and has been beat to crap because of the valve that dropped. So all of this needs to be rectified because this car has to move again. This next season, I will not be driving this in autocross or Dale in autocross. Dale's going to be reserved for track work only in the street. I will instead be driving a 1976 BMW 2002 known as Fergus, son of Shrek. And that's being prepared by my buddy Doug and helping him out wherever I can, which is not enough. I apologize, Doug. We're going to shake that thing down at Spring Nationals, do it locally, go to some bigger events, and then hopefully we'll be ready for Nationals to come back and compete with the big boys and have street prepared. And I got a video of us trying to compete in his street car this last year, and we could not hang. We hope to hang a little better this year. The ultimate plan for the Killer Corolla is to turn it into a XSB class autocross car. Now, I believe it fits. I'm not sure if the chassis bracing will allow me to do that, but I know you can do motor swaps and all of that stuff. After there's a 2AR swap in my MR2, I'm going to consider a rear-wheel drive 2AR swap for this car. Because that Camry motor, that motor came out of the Camry, 4-cylinder out of the Camry, 2.2? 2.4? Chunky monkey, makes the power, makes the torque. You can get 200 wheel horsepower and 200 torque out of it naturally aspirated. You can push that to like 300. I think that would be a rock solid motor, and especially with a turbo, for this old car to be able to come back and whip up on some of the youngins. So I hope it's going to fit in the class. I can fit lots of tire under there. You know, it won't be Hoosiers if we're in that class, but it can fit a lot of tire. Then it can have a real chance. More junk, even more junk. The main problem that you can see out of all of this, and me talking about everybody else's priorities too, is that there's too much to do. And I have a potential solution for that too much to do. And call this, video number 4 within this same video. But let's go back to the garage and we can talk about, it's not a solution, it's just a way for me to keep all this shit straight. Long has organization been my nemesis. You could call it car ADHD, or you could just call it plain old ADHD. I would prefer to move on to the next thing versus focusing on the previous thing. So the racing schedule every season is basically the only thing that keeps me on track. I have to race a car in the next event, so then I worry about what I'm doing for that car to get it ready. Well, I've eliminated worrying about one car for a certain kind of racing. Dale, the Celica, will not be out for autocross except for maybe one in the year. So I don't have to worry about getting him ready for all of those events. I can just worry about working on him, which I'm going to do because his big dance every year is the Lake Garnett Grand Prix Revival. Takes place in Garnett, Kansas. Best car show in the Midwest because it goes by at 100 miles an hour. Second weekend of October every single year. You can go to. Anyway, Dale goes. He's been a good number of years now. And he'll be back again this year. And I'd prefer to have his motor swapped and have him really ready to rip and maybe have him track tested so I feel confident about putting him in the 100 mile per hour class instead of just the 80 mile per hour class that I do every single year. Every single month this year, I'm doing something for Dale. I'm doing it for Dale. I'm doing it on Dale, to Dale. I'm doing it to Dale. Do it to Dale. Maybe not. I need to see all of those things and maybe be able to order parts for them in advance and etc. I also need to see all the racing that we are doing in rallycross to get the MR2 ready. Any drag racing we're going to do in the Cressida. I need to see that on a calendar. And now I have calendars. I've got the Googles, you got the Apples, you got the paper, you got the whatever. But, you know, all of that stuff just kind of sits somewhere and you don't see it all the time. So my plan is to bring all of the racing for all of the cars, all of the work that needs to be done to all of them, to one big calendar in my garage. Let me show you what I have in mind. I printed that. It's got string on it. Goes to another one down there. Could you have put a screw in the wall to do this? Sure, you could. Would it work better? Maybe. And why do I have two, you know, thingers coming out of the wall attached with a string on it? Well, the big idea is this. I will make 8 or 10 or 6 or however many of these strings I can actually get in the space that I have. I think I might be able to get all 12 because it's going to represent the month. And then horizontally, I'm going to run some lines that will represent the status of whatever is on the index card that will go into this good idea box. Written on those index cards will be the job that will need to be done for the project. I would actually like to have colored index cards, different color representing each individual car, and they will get put on the vertical line and arranged according to their status, and then I'll be able to see well out ahead of time what's coming for the next 12 months. These are going to get spread out over all the months. This is the month. This is the car. One car's worth of work. It's going to go that way, but we're going to test it here in a second. That's the idea. I printed this. No, I didn't. This is a clothespin. It's just painted black. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to torture test this system. So we'll start with this. Hey-ah, wah! Yeah, torture. I'm torturing you. Okay, that one flipped around. A bunch of them are going to flip around. Okay. Well, that's not so bad. I got an idea, though. Oh, yeah. Everybody flips around. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Oh, it's all coming back around here. You see that? I mean, that's enough to move the sign. That's probably a lot of wind. Yes! Yes! This, yes! Woo! Hooray! So now what do I do? Okay, here it is. Here's where it ends. This is it. This is the end of the video. I don't have new cards yet. I've got some colored index cards on the way. That'll replace all the colored markers. You know, this is going to be good, but we're going to talk about it later. You know, it's wintertime, so there's not a lot of racing going on. There's a lot of projects going on, and that's what we're trying to, you know, organize here. So you come back soon. You're going to start to see this board more and more often. I'm going to point at it. I'm going to talk about it nearly every time. And look, the motor's gone. Dropped it off yesterday. So, you know, right here, we can just take that, you know, right off the, I don't have a place to put done ones yet, but I guess it'll be there. But for now, I want this video to be done. So it is done. Ta-da! So for you, pick up a wrench and get busy on your own projects, or go out and find your own apex, because it is better late than never. Ta-ta.